Hi there, welcome to this week's video. My name is Sophie Newman and I'm a solicitor here at Norris Ward Mckinnon. This week's video is going to discuss the importance of having an employment agreement, as well as the importance of keeping accurate wage and leave records. So the first point here is that it is a legal requirement for all employees to have an employment agreement. This is your full-time, part-time, fixed-term and casual employees. They all need one, and it is important to take this seriously as you could get a hefty fine if you fail to meet this requirement. So it is in your favour as an employer to have employment agreements in place. So it's not just so you don't get that fine, but it can also help you with employee negotiations if a relationship were to turn sour. Now, there are clauses in the agreement that protect the business owner, and there are clauses that protect an employee. Now, the more detailed the agreement, the better, and this is in particular with the clauses that protect the business if the relationship were to falter. A well-written employment agreement helps the employee and employer know what is expected from them and also what they are both entitled to. So this means misunderstandings are less likely to happen in the future, and if a problem does come up, then once again they can turn to the agreement to fix these and clarify things. An agreement is negotiated between the employee and employer, so you should discuss the terms and conditions of employment fully, and then once you've got these, write them down in the agreement and sign both parties, as well as both parties get to keep a copy there as well. So our Federated Farmers Agreements have been developed with the help of farming leaders, real farmers, farm consultants and lawyers. Now, because of this, the agreements cover a wide range of farming industry particulars, and in the end it makes it a much easier process for the employers as they can be sure that these cover exactly what they're meant to. However, if you do think that there are things that you need to add in, there's also space to do this at the end of the agreement. If you are going to draft your own clauses, it might pay to get a lawyer to look over them, just in case you think they mean one thing and then they get interpreted as something else further down the line. So moving on to the subject of wage and leave records and why it's important to keep these for each employee you have. So an employer must keep accurate wage and time and holidays and leave records that comply with the Employment Relations Act 2000 as well as the Holidays Act 2003. In particular, an employer must be able to show that they have correctly given employees all of their minimum employment entitlements, such as minimum wage and annual holidays. Good record keeping makes sure that an employee's pay and leave are correct. It prevents misunderstandings and protects the employee and the employer if there is a problem. Employees have the right to know everything you're recording on their file and have the right to see their records as well. Now, while all record keeping requirements may not seem necessary, they are there to show a clear picture in a day of your employee's working year. So that is which days were worked, not worked, what day they were on leave, and what kind of leave they were on, and so on. So this information is used to calculate different types of pay for leave, such as annual leave, sick leave, and also entitlements for things such as parental leave when those come up as well. So an employer can keep records paper or electronically, but you do need to keep these, and this is even if an employee has left. The reason for this is because an employee may go and make a claim for wage arrears, and if you can provide all of the records that you have on them, then you should be able to defend that claim. So if an employer doesn't keep the accurate records as required, then the Employment Relations Authority or a labour inspector can actually give you a penalty. So you want to avoid that at all costs. It is easier keeping accurate records if employees do fill out their timesheets. So if an employee doesn't put in timesheets correctly as agreed, then this doesn't mean they don't get paid. It just means you need to have a conversation with them about and agree on what to do from there with the timesheets. So the overall message here is that it is a legal requirement for an employee to have an employment agreement in place, and this is signed before the employee starts work. You also need to keep accurate wage, time, leave and holiday records if you do not want to run the risk of getting a significant fine. Thank you.